Test, test. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to another day with the Financial Coconut. In our podcast, we'll be debunking financial myths, discovering best financial practices, discussing financial strategies that fits our unique life. You get it? Ultimately empowering us to create a life we love while managing our finances well. So whether you're interested in the pursuit of the common narrative, getting a degree, finding a job, setting up a family and live happily ever after, or you're an avid FIRE believer, F.I.R.E. For those who are new to the term, FIRE means financial independence, retire early. Or you're just quirky, like me, questioning and trying to create a life you love, there should be something for you here. So whether you're on your way to work, to school, chilling by the beach, or just cuddling, snuggling in bed, today's topic is 3 things you should include in your budget. Following the previous episode of Dangerous Spending Myths, I talked about 3 different spending myths that to me are extremely dangerous if you're trying to become more financially literate and drive yourself towards financial independence and early retirement. And so if you have not caught the topic, have not caught that podcast, you may want to check out the previous series. But I want to elaborate a little bit more on that last point that I said last week, which is I believe that spending smart is so much more important than not spending, right? And not spending is not going to get you rich, in my view. We can calculate, and it's not going to get you really, really wealthy. But then again, you don't need to be really wealthy to live a great life, yeah? But to me, that is a very weird underlying spending myth that many of us have. So today I've decided that, then I should talk a little bit about my budget. How do I spend my money? And 3 things that I feel it's not included in many people's budget. And why you should include these 3 things in your budget. How do we spend smart? How do we spend better to be able to then attain what we want and to be able to be smarter with our finances? Once again, it's not about not spending, it's about spending smart. More parents and more family and more. All of us should talk more about how do we spend? How do we spend better? How do we become smart spenders? And the first thing that I want you to include in your budget, not surprisingly, is a book fund. Throughout my podcast, I've consistently talked about you read books, go to the library, get free books, or buy this book, good that book. You get the idea. I believe that reading has its beauty. And honestly, I didn't start out reading. I don't come from a family of avid readers. We don't read every day. We watch cartoons, Digimon, Pokemon, growing up, card capture Sakura, right? So we don't read a lot. And how I picked up reading was when I joined the accidental scam that I joined, and I was assigned a mentor. My mentor said, "Hey, you gotta read these books." Come to think of it, scam also got mentor, huh? Yeah, I know I've not talked about that yet. We'll talk about it in a later episode. But yes, that is the good thing that came out of it. I picked up the habit of reading, and I realized that it is not because I don't like to read. I used to think I don't like to read. It was just because I've not found something that I love reading. And I don't like to read fantasy. I don't like to read stories because I just cannot imagine it. I'm just not wired that way, and I've not cultivated the capacity to imagine based on just reading, lines. So I fell in love with reading non-fiction, a lot of biographies, a lot of different kind of success books that, some people call self-help, all those kind of stuff. I fell in love with reading them. And I've consistently read over the years, and I've got great friends that have great books. They're always spending on books and always, lending it to me. But I also spend on my books. I spend on a few books that are pretty pricey and not many people buy them, like my investing books, right? Average are going at like 50, 60, hundreds of dollars. Yeah, you get the idea. Some of the books are a little bit more expensive. And yes, if you can get it from the library, go ahead. But you realize that the library has its limits at times, right? If you really want to learn something and learn something fast, and just so happen that the library doesn't have the book, or the book is consistently being leased out, you could save with the library, of course, but if it's not available, you may want to consider spending a little bit and buy. I think it's cool. And a book is a good gift also. If you buy the book and you like the book, you can always gift it to someone. It's like gifting knowledge. I like it. I like that way. So I've been gifting books for a really long time and I enjoy it. I'm going to further emphasize as to why I believe you should read books. These days, there are many ways to learn. You could go on the internet, watch some videos on YouTube, or listen to my podcast, listen to other podcasts. If you're listening on Spotify, you realize that, hey, there are tons of good podcasts here. And of course, even in SoundCloud, there are many other places that have great podcasts. And I think in our part of the world, we're not listening to enough podcasts. So maybe you want to listen to more. I get it. Videos, audios, great way to learn. So many platforms, Udemy, Skillshare, all these kind of different places, amazing ways to learn. But why I think books are still very fundamental? Because think about it, where do all these people get their knowledge? Many of them got it from books. Why? Books take a long time to publish, and it takes a lot of capital to publish books. So to be able to get a publisher to publish, there's a whole process of proofreading, of editing, and making sure everything is accurate and up to standard. Which is why, to me, books have the most rigorous process of putting information together rather than podcast, rather than video. All these are great platforms, don't get me wrong. I'm a podcaster. But where do we get our knowledge? We get from books. So I think you should read books because they're the most rigorous. And that's why you should add a book fund into your monthly spending. Why not? Read some books, pick up something, and you don't need to read like self-help or investing books all the time. Start with something that you love. Pick up a book about coffee, pick up a book about tea, pick up a book about photography. Okay, photography books are quite expensive, but yes. So pick up a book about something you love and start there. It's a great place to learn. The content is a lot more rigorous than what you get online, and it's not that expensive. One of the cheapest way to learn are by books. So I feel you should, one of the things that you should include in your budget is a book fund, right? Do it. And the next thing that I feel you should include in your budget is this thing that I call an exploration fund. Yeah, exploration, explore what, right? How many of you on the other end have ever came across this thought that, oh my goodness, I'm so bored. Work is so boring. It's the same thing again and again and again. And I'm burning out. I want to try something new. I want to take on a different job. I want to shift my career. I want to change this. I want to do that. I'm quite sure at least 80 to 90% of you guys have experienced something like that. It's fair, especially when you're really good at what you do. And to me, that is where that is where boredom comes from. You're so good at what you do. You've been doing it again and again and again and again and again and again. You get bored lah. It's like playing games, right? You play a game, at first very exciting, but after a while you know how to play the game. Oh my goodness, so boring now. Sian already, right? You want to quit the game. And then you find another game and it looks interesting, and then you realize that, oh, this game even easier to crack. After a while you get bored. And you delete it. Same idea. So when you get bored, when you get so good at something, you become bored. And you think that you want to change it. You think that you want to make progress, which is fair. But in a job setting or in your financial health, many a times that may not be the wisest choice. If you really feel that you want to move on from your job, cool, go ahead. If you really feel that you want to take on something new, you want to start a new challenge, you want to start a new startup, you want to, start working in another company, you want to change a department, you want to promote and progress, create cool stuff, do what you believe. But recognize that many a times it is just our underlying boredom disturbing us. And to me, I believe that there is an underlying desire for progress in all of us. That is why we get to where we are. That's why the human civilization is where we are today. And I stand by it, because if you think about it, even if people tell you, oh, I'm retired, they're actually making progress in other aspects of life. They're trying to make progress in their relationships, they're trying to make progress in their health, they're trying to make progress in their interests, they're trying to become a hobbyist. We are all wanting to make progress. We all need to work. We all want to make progress. We just do focus on different things at different time in life. So to me, we get bored. And we don't exactly need to change our job or quit our job just because we are bored. We just need to solve that boredom. So include an exploration fund. It could be $100, it could be $50, depending on what is comfortable in your budget. You know, and explore something. Buy a new board game, go for a new class, pick up a new sport, try a new thing. Yeah, that is the idea of exploration, trying something that you've never tried before. And that will make sure you're not bored at all. You will never get bored if you can consistently explore. It is because when we start working, we dedicate so much of our lives to work. We dedicate, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. My goodness, I have friends who work in accounting, Big Four, like 16 hours to work, almost every day at work. Yeah, and we dedicate so much time to work. After that, we go home, we sleep. We end up not socializing with our friends as much. We start to skip the gym. We start to do this. We start to drop a lot of things that we used to have. And that's why we get bored very easily. All right? Because there's nothing new in our life. Every day is just work, ma. So why not spend a little bit of budget to explore? Give yourself the $50, the $100 to do spontaneous things. Go rock climbing. Go for learn how to dance. Pick up a ballet, or join a new board game group. Buy a new board game. Go for archery, or learn how to code. Play chess. Anything and everything under the sky. There's so many platforms that you can do. I would recommend you to use meetup.com, search on Eventbrite. I think Facebook have a lot of good events also. But set aside a budget for you to do random things and for you to explore. That will make your life a lot more exciting, a lot more fun, and less bored. You will not really need to keep changing jobs. And why do I try to let you realize this thing? Because if you stick to something long enough, you level up. You become that much better and you get to progress. Right? Yes, of course, you can always change a job and progress also, or you can start a new company and progress fair. But I think some governing fundamentals is that if you stick to something long enough, you become an expert, you become that good at it, you can start to see more things, the ins and the outs, and you get more opportunities because you're that good at it. So don't always change a job just because you're bored. Recognize that you're bored because you're not exploring. And set aside a budget. Go and try something new and explore. Fair? Yeah, give it a shot. And let me know what you've tried. Let me know interesting things that you've done. Email me or Facebook message me, okay? I want to get some ideas also as to, hey, what kind of interesting things I can do. Singapore, KL, anywhere. I'm open to ideas. And the last thing that I feel you should include in your budget is something I call giving. Yeah, a bit cheesy. A lot of people say you must give back to society, give to charity, give all those kind of different things. But in my view, giving is just something that allows me to realize certain fundamentals of society, certain fundamentals of life, that everything is but a gift. If you realize it is all in a circle, we are where we are because we are given an opportunity. We are where we are because we are given a good education. We are where we are because our parents, had a great time at night and gave birth to us. So everything it's a process of giving, and it is a cycle. Many a times, if we keep taking and taking and taking and we stop giving, we realize that this is a cycle. We realize that we stop realizing that we are so connected in actuality to people around us, to things around us, to the environment, and to every little thing. We are all connected, and giving helps you to do that. And I'm not saying giving in a sense that you need to buy a huge 25 kilograms of rice to donate to the temple, or go to invest to donate to a charity, to go for different kind of causes. You don't need to do that. Giving is just giving. You could buy a gift, right? Maybe your colleagues, they worked really hard. Buy them a gift. Maybe it can be a bubble tea. Oh my goodness, why did I say bubble tea? Oh yeah, it's just an act of giving. Or maybe it's the cleaning auntie downstairs, that it's always cleaning the tables and making sure the hawker center is clean or decently clean. Trust me, they don't make a lot. We'll talk about that in another episode. But yeah, buy them a coffee, buy them a loaf of bread, give them some biscuits. Just give something. And you don't need to go the really extra mile to give. Do little acts of giving. Oh, give your mom a hug. Yeah, I've not given my mom a hug in a long time. I probably should. Or just anything. Just give. right? And honestly, giving, you don't really need a lot of money, but why not set aside a budget to give more, and realize that everything is a cycle. The more you give, the more gifts are going around. The chances of you getting more gifts, hey, about a lot higher. And there's one initiative in Tampines where I grew up. I want to talk about, this initiative called My Kind Fridge. Essentially, it's some people that donated their fridge, and the town council has allowed them to put these fridges at certain locations in Tampines, which uses the town council electricity. It is a place where you can give, right, your vegetables. You buy extra veggies, you can give. You buy extra oatmeal, you can give. You cook extra pastries, cakes, you can give, and you can just put inside the fridge. And most of the time, these fridges are located in places that have more older generation or rental houses, people that will appreciate good things that great food and good things that you give them. So yeah, I want to point this out, and I feel it's a great initiative, and I feel that more estates should do it, and Tampines should expand this My Kind Fridge initiative. So search about them online. They have a few news around, and if you're near a Kind Fridge and you're shopping for vegetables, buying chicken, why not do a little bit more, right? So that's the three things that I feel you should include in your budget: a book fund, exploration fund, and a giving fund. And with that, I hope you learned something today. Share with me what you've done. See ya! Test. Hey! I hope you learned something useful today, and truly appreciate that you took time off to better your life with the financial coconut. Knowledge is that much more powerful and interesting when shared, debated, and discussed. I hope you will share what you have gained with people you love, and I want to hear from you. Give me some questions and help me along with building a community of financially savvy coconuts. I hope together we can fulfill our curious minds and our desire for clarity. Email me at thefinancialcoconut@gmail.com or message me on Facebook at The Financial Coconut. I will do my best to address your questions in our future podcast series, especially if many people are concerned about the same topic. With that, have a great day ahead, stay tuned next week, and always remember, personal finance can be chill, clear, and sustainable for all.